and more pain. They are, amen, lady, they are failures. Let me repeat that. They are failures. Failures in health. Failures in bringing down the unemployment rate. Failures in diversifying our economy. Failures in providing inter-island sea transport. Failures in fixing landslides in Moruga Tableland and in Naparima. Failure to hold ministers accountable for major indiscretions, perhaps the worst we have experienced in our country. Failure to provide a compelling action plan to take our country forward. Failure, brothers and sisters, to keep the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago safe. Our country is experiencing unimaginable levels of criminality, and this government continues to ignore the cries of the citizens. This government allows criminals free rein to abuse our country and the hard-working, law-abiding citizens. Imagine, our murder rate to date is 142 and climbing. They have continued to fail in protecting our national image abroad under the guidance of our Prime Minister's friend. And who is his friend? The Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, who is unaware about decisions taking place in his own ministry. He is like Sergeant Schultz in a TV program long ago. Sergeant Schultz used to hear nothing, he used to see nothing, he used to do nothing. Minister Moses is in charge, and we embarrass ourselves at the OAS on the Dominica's request for a waiver of fees. And all Moses could say was, I wasn't there. Nobody told me. I don't know. And today, ladies and gentlemen, Rowley shuffled the pack of jokers and kept his good friend, Dennis Moses. Everybody goes, but his partner, Moses, stays. Clearly, Rowley has not heard the principle of collective responsibility or ministerial responsibility, which under the Westminster system we inherited means that a minister is responsible for everything that goes on in his ministry. The buck stops with Moses and Keith Rowley, and for Keith Rowley to keep him shows clearly that Rowley only understands pavement diplomacy and not good parliamentary practice. Today also, Moses got up in Parliament and said that after the Dominican crisis, he spoke on the phone to his colleague in Dominica and apologized. Well, poor Moses. He does not know that at this level, what is required is a diplomatic note, not a phone call. For heaven's sake, we're not talking about a parlor or a roti shop. We're talking about the government of the people, the proud people of Trinidad and Tobago and of Moruga Tableland. But Rowley is demeaning the office. He did not see it fit to attend 3 annual General Assemblies of the United Nations. 2015, 2016, 2017. No doubt he will miss it this year. Unlike our political leader, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, who had the vision and the intelligence and the strength to interact frontally with her peers globally. Unlike Rowley, our leader, Kamla Persad-Bissessar, was globally respected in the international arena. I saw her in action at the UN. And as a little boy from South Trinidad, I was proud of my Prime Minister, Kamla Persad-Bissessar. And Dr. Rowley has the goal to tell me that I cannot speak to Marine Le Pen while I was at the UN. This not too bright Keith Rowley can never understand global diplomacy. You see, he's a geologist. He studied the ages of rocks. He needs to abide by the rock of ages. He is a practitioner of pavement diplomacy. So President Trump is carded to speak with President of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. According to the Rowley doctrine of diplomacy, they should never speak because you only speak to people you like. So in the company of 17 other UN ambassadors, I challenge Ms. Le Pen on her views on Islamophobia, on immigration, on ultranationalism, sitting in New York and to the lady and trying to put sense in her head. I serve my country and my people by so doing, and I will do it again, Rowley or no Rowley. Important global organizations such as the EU, that is the European Union, and the OECD have placed Trinidad on their blacklist based on reviews done after September 15. Look at it. We on blacklists all over the world. They don't want to deal with us. And Faris Alwari gets up in Parliament and says, you know why you're on the blacklist? Because the PP government did nothing. Well, that is not true. That is not true, because the period of review was in 2016 and 2017. And who was in power? Dr. Rowley. Who was not in power? Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Now, the EU wrote us last year, and the EU told us to give them a letter of commitment that we will, a high-level commitment that we will abide by their concerns. You know that we did not write the letter. They wrote us, they wrote Grenada, they wrote Barbados, they wrote Trinidad and Tobago, and they said, give us a high-level commitment that you will abide by, or you'll take steps to deal with our concerns. Barbados wrote, Grenada wrote, but clueless Faris Alwari did not, and we remain today blacklisted by the EU and the OECD. The only areas of competence by this Keith Rowley administration are old talk, long-winded, nice-sounding sales talk, and blaming the PP government. Not hard work and performance. I will say it again. Under the PNM, the only growth industries are funeral homes and crime, criminals. The only growth industries are funeral homes and crime. So what are the priorities of clueless Moses? Why is the strategic direction, where is the strategic direction that he was supposed to give to the ministry? Why, for example, set up an embassy in the United Arab Emirates when Guyana is on our doorsteps, on the verge of an oil boom that has never been witnessed in CARICOM or countries in this region, 500,000 barrels a day, and we do not have an embassy in Guyana? Why close down our embassy in Uganda, close to Ethiopia, Jah Rastafari, seat of the African Union, representing 54 countries? What policies are in place to deal with the reputed 40,000 Venezuelan refugees in our country? What is the status of the immigration detention center where you're housing these people? What policies are in place to combat human trafficking of Venezuelans in Trinidad? We have Venezuelans being treated like dogs under this government and being made to stay in inhuman conditions. We, all of us, will pay a price long after Rowley demits office for the inhuman treatment meted out to Venezuelans. But what is the purpose of our Coast Guard in Cedros? If you visit Cedros, you see a base. Is that base for decoration? We have our fishermen and offshore workers fearful for their lives. And the only advice the Coast Guard could do is we can't do nothing. This should be a national security priority. How, for heaven's sake, can Venezuelan naval vessels enter our waters and our Coast Guard so frightened that they know we are wrong? Could we ever enter Venezuelan waters, even if we chase in Venezuelans? So where's the Coast Guard? What are they doing? So Moses will lead us to the promised land of global excellence. The Prime Minister's defense. Protect Moses. Blame staff. Attack me. Come up with some unsigned, unconfirmed minutes. Does the Prime Minister not know that unsigned note written by someone is not evidence? There are no policies in place to make sense of what is taking place in our country. And here this quote in the Bible. It is Exodus 6:12. And I'm reading, but Lord, Moses objected. My own people won't listen to me. How can I expect Pharaoh to listen? I am such a clumsy speaker. That is what he said. Ladies and gentlemen, let us pause. We are in the presence of greatness. We are in the presence of our leader. We are in the presence of... We are in the presence of our leader. Can you feel it in the air? You feel it in the firmament. Greatness is coming to us. First female Prime Minister. First female Attorney General. The first representative of South Trinidad to lead us to greatness. A leader who believed in giving us laptops and making us computer literate. She, ladies and gentlemen, will rescue us from the trials and tribulations of this Rowley-led administration. So let's enjoy our leader. We cannot wait for you to come back into power to rescue us from trials and tribulations. But I've given you a quote from the Bible. And this is Moses talking. He said, but Lord, Moses objected. My own people wouldn't listen to me anymore. How can I expect Pharaoh to listen? I am such a clumsy speaker. Does that not sound like the Moses we know? So, ladies and gentlemen, the question of ministerial responsibility, I spoke about it, but in that concept, it is a constitutional convention that cabinet ministers bear ultimate responsibility for the action of their ministries. Even if a minister is unaware of misdeeds or behavior, he or she is responsible and answerable for every action in his ministry. The traditional example, according to authorities in the UK, of official ministerial responsibility was the Churchill Dung affair in 1954, when the Minister of Agriculture resigned despite the fact that all mistakes were made by civil servants without his knowledge. Clearly, this is not the case under this government. So tonight, I, Rodney Charles, MP for Naparima, want to say to Dr. Rowley, I want to be your friend. And ladies and gentlemen, I say this because once you are his friend like Moses, you can do no wrong. Be it scandals, be it missteps or global embarrassment, you will be well protected. But the UNC is ready to liberate Trinidad and Tobago.